Good evening and welcome to tonight's broadcast of the Total Nonstop Racing League here at Darlington Raceway. It's the Rebel, it's the Rebel 150. And Joe, this is going to be a ton of fun. Watch out for the Darlington stripe, and pit road entry is dangerous here tonight.
Which, historically, the last few races, they've had some issues with the pit, so that'll be interesting on this track.
That is for sure. A 1.3 mile egg-shaped racetrack is going to give these drivers fits all night long. So far, fastest up on the board is the number one of Anthony DeBarro. And as we say that, Matt Schlosser goes to the point with a 29.20. So watch out for these drivers. They are all very fast and ready to put in some great laps. Jump on board here, this time with the 25 of Chris Cabot. Let's take a look to see how he likes to get around this track. Dizzy Motorsports here. Turn 1 and 2. Like to get down right to that white dash line, all the way up to the track, or up to the wall. Down to the dash line, get yourself a great run out off the corner. So hard to do. And now 3 and 4 is where this is going to take some guts. You get down to that dotted line again, but the rest of the time you're going to be up against that wall. We'll see that throughout the race. Just carry that momentum, and that is a lap here around Darlington. And these cars are not easy to drive around this track.
That doesn't look it.
There is the number 11 of Nick Simpson practicing getting down onto pit road. And you see right there how far away pit road entry is from the racing surface. So you can see guys think they can carry a lot more speed and run into that pit attenuator there at the end of, or the entrance of pit road. We've seen that multiple times. Here at Darlington, see some sparks there coming off the right-hand side of this 28 machine. And don't adjust your screen. That 3 car, that is Jason Schue in a non-Dale Earnhardt car. Driving the number 3 Alltel Ryan Newman throwback.
Does make sense here in Darlington.
Does. The Rocket Man. Plenty of great qualifying efforts here for Newman. We see Ace House back there as well in that orange number 47 machine with all the Rocket Power gang on the front.
Still one of my favorites here.
Absolutely love it.
I'm not old.
I'm not old, you're old.
You're old.
As we see the 27, Anthony DeBarro goes top of the board with a 28.95. And these cars have gotten a lot faster as the race, or as qualifying has gone on. Only about 40 seconds left here. Fastest time to start the session was a 29.2. And we're already almost 0.3 faster. Here's Matt Schlosser out trying to hustle around to see if he can get a lap time in. He may not have enough time to get down to the stripe, but let's see. No, he's not going to. So checkered flag in the air as Anthony DeBarro puts down a blistering 28.95 second lap. So DeBarro on the provisional pole for now. We'll see if Schlosser is able to get it going. Schlosser 29.6. Canizaro Senior 30 and change. Jason Schue not able to do it either. So we'll take a look now at the starting lineup for tonight's race. It's the Rebel 150 here at Darlington. As we're going to get ourselves ready to get started here for this one. This is going to be a ton of fun. Looking forward to this. On the pole for Dizzy Motorsports is Anthony DeBarro with a 28.958 second lap. John Canizaro Jr. on his outside, 38 1,000ths of a second back. Row number 2, another Dizzy Motorsports driver, Chris Cabot, starts P3 with Philip Scott on the outside. Matt Schlosser in 5th. The top 5 drivers all separated by 1/10 of a second. So that's just going to show you exactly how close this field is here tonight. Shane Ewing on his outside in 6th. Nick Simpson, Jamar Dumas make up row number 4. Row number 5, we have Ace House and Jason Schue. John Canizaro Sr. and Mike Floppy Tellier. Great to see Floppy out there in row number 6. Row number 7, we have Garrett Gleason and Robert Tripp. Adam Stewart and Jacob Bettis will round out our 16-car field for this evening. Joe, I am ready to get this thing started.
Absolutely.
Great looking race cars out there. Beautiful sunset in the background. 110 laps, can't get better than this.
Nope. The top 5 are also within the top 7 of each other in standings. So really, it's going to be some fun racing.
Oh, yeah. That is for sure, as we see DeBarro and Canizaro here on the outside. Lights on the pace car are off, so we'll be getting ourselves ready to go green this time by. And look at how narrow this racing surface is. The track is incredibly wide. The racing surface, you can barely fit 2 cars, maybe 3 if you're really going to try to pack them in. So only 2 cars, and you see everything below. This is not really a track that you're going to see a lot of yellows either, because of how wide the track is and how narrow the racing surface is. If you see a car spun out down to the inside, odds are that's not going to throw a caution, even if we see a large wreck. So drivers are going to have to be careful and kind of take note of that as this race goes on, just because the odds of getting a yellow aren't exactly high. So we'll see how that one goes as the field makes their way out of turn number 4. Green flag is out, and we're racing here at Darlington. Anthony DeBarro gets the jump in front of John Canizaro Jr. Let's see what Philip Scott can do there in P3. Everyone getting real close to the outside wall, but DeBarro going to drive away here out of 2.
Great start for these guys.
Everyone minding their P's and Q's. At least for now, as we see a couple of drivers just kind of scrape up against the wall. DeBarro fastest lap so far with a 34.76. As we see again, another couple of cars just grabbing the wall. And you see all that smoke there as the 25 of Chris Cabot off pace. All that smoke that you see is just the tires hitting the wall. And because of that, it's actually generating more heat to the tires. So you're going to have a little bit less grip on that car for the next couple of corners because you're just kind of snagging the wall like that.
Yeah, friction, everyone's enemy.
Yes. Meanwhile, out front, Jason Schue trying to take a move, looking around the 47 of Ace House. So we'll slot Jason Schue there up to 9th. As Canizaro Sr. snags the wall, and Jacob Bettis just behind him sideways. Adam Stewart involved as well. And we're going to see our first yellow of the evening just 4 laps into this one.
That was a wrong place, wrong time. I think He wasn't expecting a short stop.
Yeah, let's take a look here. Keep an eye out there on that number 6, as well as the 4 of Adam Stewart, and we already see that one kind of take place. Let's back it up just a little bit. Let's see what happened there. The 6 got a great run in. 35 checked up, and that's when the 4 got into the 6. A ton of damage for that number 4 Welts clothing machine. Let's take one more look at this one.
Is his tire? He busted his tire?
Yeah, the tire is completely sideways. Let's take a look and see what happened. So the 4 gets a great drive off the corner, has a huge run in. And everyone just kind of, wow.
It didn't look like he snagged that hard, but...
Yeah, it looked like just netcode kind of did him dirty there, because there wasn't a whole lot of contact. And you can kind of see right down on the bottom right of your screen, you can see the yellow writing of the Goodyear. There is no right front left on that 4 car.
Yeah, we've seen some much more destructive hits do significantly less damage.
Yeah, and I mean, the 6 didn't even get lifted up when the 4 got into the back of him either. So that was certainly interesting. But we have a couple cars making their way down onto pit road. That's the 3 of Jason Schue, Mike Floppy Tellier just behind him. 4 of Adam Stewart there, crew working on the car, just a lot of damage.
Yeah, I gotta see if maybe the tire's out, so maybe they're able to replace it.
Does not look like it. It looks like the 4 has backed himself off the track. Over in the chat, Xander Hulgren says, let's go 11. Cheering on the 11 of Nick Simpson. Simpson currently sitting in P7 right now. But the lights on the pace car are off. And we'll be getting ourselves ready to go back racing here on lap 7. 110 laps in this one. You are not going to want to miss this. Field in the command of Anthony DeBarro. Into the restart zone he goes. Green flag in the air. And we're back racing here at Darlington. Great jump there by the 27 of DeBarro. Can the 4 of Schlosser try to get around Cannizzaro? Nope, he cannot. A little bit further back, the 32 of Shane Ewing grabs the wall. But all is well. And everyone else able to get themselves away scot-free. Philip Scott with a good run there out of turn 4, down the front straightaway, trying to make a move on Schlosser while also just trying to hold off Shane Ewing. At this point in the race, these drivers are just kind of feeling the car out, seeing exactly what happens. And we see trouble. Yellow flag out on the track. Looking like the 35 of Robert Tripp had some damage.
That one didn't even trigger for me.
Let's take a look to see what happened here with the 35, and he might have just gotten a little loose. 35 up in the wall. Kicked him sideways. Oh, hard lick on the back end.
Well, tires look okay.
Yeah, no wheel damage, just some heavy left rear contact. Probably going to lose a ton of rear downforce on the car, too.
Mm-hmm. Which is not great on this track.
Certainly not. Because now we see if anyone's going to make their way down pit road. Shane Ewing is, as he goes after the camera. So there's Shane Ewing on pit road. Ace House coming down pit road. Mike Tellier, Jason Schue also coming down. Same with Garrett Gleason. So these drivers here just looking to take a little bit extra fuel. Tripp gonna get some of that damage repaired. Let's see, does anyone take tires or is everyone taking fuel? Ewing takes tires. Tripp is also taking tires. Tellier just fuel. Same with Jason Schue. And Joe, just think 10 laps in. This basically means these guys who came down the pit have 10 laps more fuel than the rest of the field.
Yeah, which is big in a 110 lap race.
Mm-hmm. Tyler Avery pops into the chat saying good luck to all, especially CHR. And Adam Stewart giving us the bad news. The car is too damaged to continue.
Unfortunate.
So very, very tough break for the Welts Clothing Machine.
Yeah, I always love seeing them out there and, the car.
As I say that, I'm wearing my Welts Clothing tank that I have. Dude, I love this shirt so much. You can get yours weltsclothing.com.
I have my package in the mail.
And Adam, I have not forgotten about some sponsorship things. I'll send you a message later on. Probably send it tomorrow if I'm not exhausted. Get to start work at 4 a.m. tomorrow.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that. Morning radio. Gotta love it. Field yet again in the hands of Anthony DeBarro. DeBarro trying the inside line this time. So we'll see how this one goes. Biggest mover of the race so far, Jacob Bettis. He's up 7 spots. As the green flag is out yet again, Anthony DeBarro on the loud pedal. He gets a good start over Cannizzaro. They're side by side for third. Schlosser to the inside of Philip Scott. Schlosser will take the spot. Field just getting up to speed here, entering turn number 3. A couple of drivers just kind of grazing the wall a little bit. Always cool to see these cars fly by so close to the wall.
Yeah, that camera shake. As someone who's been that close to the wall, you really got to hold your hat in.
Yes, because everything will fly away. And oh, we got some more trouble. Robert Tripp having an issue again. Let's see what happened to the 35 machine. There he is there in the black and red car. And oh, just got real loose down to the inside. We'll tip the wall. No yellow, so we're going to stay green.
Looks like Tripp jumped to the pit.
So 2 cars out. Just 15 laps into this one. Now we see battle for the lead here between DeBarro, Cannizzaro, Schlosser, and Philip Scott. As we see this battle here and how close they are.
I try to read up on my racetracks before each race, get some fun facts, get some information. I was lied to by my research.
Oh boy.
I was told that Minnow's Pond, the whole reason the track is shaped like this, was filled in. I was like, oh, that's interesting. When was it filled in? I was like, hang on, I'm searching. Oh, I lied. It wasn't. I was like, good. Okay, great.
Thank you, ChatGPT. This is why AI will not take over anytime soon.
No. All you need to do is look at a map. It's still there.
I bet you if I zoomed out enough in iRacing, it'll still be there too.
Probably. Near the campground. It's still a tourist destination.
So far, this battle has not gone away. Debarra and Canizaro. Canizaro racing with a little bit more purpose here tonight. He has had said that his girlfriend actually just shipped out to Navy boot camp, so good luck to her. So Canizaro just a little bit extra motivation here tonight to get that win for her.
Which is impressive. He's doing so well. You know, he was saying before, a lot of things on his mind, not sure he's going to race so well, but here he is.
Yeah, here he is, and not only that, but he's keeping pace with Debarra and staying right on his bumper.
Yeah, I wonder, you know, we've been saying it, you know, week in, week out. Canizaro usually gets off to a hot start, you know, flies up 3-4 seconds ahead, and then burns out his tires and slows down. And Debarra is able to, you know, play the long game, for lack of a better term, and ride it out another 20 laps. I wonder if Canizaro is kind of seeing like, all right, let's try your method.
Yeah, let me see what you're doing, and can I do it better? As we get a great run here from Philip Scott. Scott taking a peek to the inside of Schlosser. Schlosser just says, all right, bud, go for it. You got me here.
I guess he's watching this stream and he didn't like that we weren't bringing him up into the mix.
Right. But now, as we say that, here comes Schlosser trying to battle back to the inside. And Philip Scott over the weekend in the Indy 6-hour race with iRacing was one of my teammates for the 6 hours of tabletop trio racing. Started somewhere around 40-something and finished 16th overall and 6th place in GTs.
Which is just amazing.
So great run him by both Philip Scott and Scott Harvell, who also raced. I was going to race, but unfortunately had to get called into work. But I came back in and I helped crew chief the last 3 hours of the race. Plenty of adversity, diving and ducking around GTP cars, avoiding the raindrops, and had ourselves a good race.
That's phenomenal.
One driver who is having a bit of a tough time is John Canizaro Sr. Senior crashed just a little bit ago. Let's take a look to see what happened here. There's Senior in the purple 55, got real loose out of 4.
Ooh.
And a hard lick to the inside. Tyler Avery probably not happy to see another one of his cars get a little damaged up. And
yeah, well, the bumper tried to return.
Yeah, but I don't think the front wheels are going to be exactly
none too happy.
aligned either.
It is, you know, like the old cartoons where the cars start like running. I think that's those front two tires.
Tongue lolled out at the end, just.
That's what I got. Tyler Avery in the chat. At this point, I have become numb. You should do what I do to all of my paint schemes, which is implement duct tape in the paint already.
Can't tell what's new, what's old. No.
Yeah, it's held together by duct tape and dreams. So I put duct tape all over my cars.
I do think it would be cool to see a car come back next week where if it lost the front end like that, with just pieces of duct tape holding the nose on. Some body filler or, just bare sheet metal.
That would be
fenders.
That would be a wild thing to have to try to manage, is like setting a budget for the series for all these guys. Where they scrape up their cars and wreck, they have to like go out with no, just like a blank car because they don't. It's a loaner car or something.
Little cost cap in the digital racing age. On board here with Philip Scott trying to get a great run on Cannizzaro. He does. But just kind of caught him at the wrong spot as the 77 grabs the wall. I feel like that is slightly easier to fix than losing and needing to replace the entire front clip.
So I'm noticing on turn 2 and then sometimes 3 that there are sparks flying off the underside of these cars. Are they just the turns a little bumpy?
Yeah, a bit of bump.
Transition or
bit of bump on the track. Also, tire pressures and just the cars bottoming out as we see it just a little bit there. Not the smoothest of surfaces. Tire wear is very important here, so I think that's why we're seeing a bit of sparks flying through the corners.
Yes. So when did they get rid of the...
Oh, contact there between the 99 and 77. Oh, big crash.
Oh, no.
Somehow no caution.
I don't know what Scott's going to be looking like for that one. He looked like he took a good hit on the front bumper.
Yeah, some hard, heavy contact there. Well, Tyler, I hate to tell you this, but your budget for sheet metal next week has gone up substantially.
The good news is it's the back bumper.
Slightly less important when it comes to aero. Let's take a look here to see what happened between these drivers, and they just kind of got a little just close coming out of the corner. 77 goes up, the 99 drives up as well, and right there just got in a little too deep, little contact, got them squirrely.
And, we're pretty far into these tires.
Yeah, and then the 04 rather, just nowhere for him to go.
Yeah.
And then a hard hit there for the 99. You already see the bumper a little loose. But not a whole lot of damage there on that 77 machine either.
Yeah, I think he lucked out on that one. Unfortunate, but...
So we'll drop these guys. Cannizzaro back to 8th. Scott back to 10th. And that's going to open up a pretty big gap there for DeBarro over his Dizzy Motorsports teammate, Chris Gabot. Tyler Avery says, "Go iRacing," they said. It would be fun, they said. I'm picturing right now Tyler's having the dog and "this is fine" meme with CHR burning down all around him.
I feel like he's just turning the lights on in his garage. He's gonna have to get to work.
As Gabo looking to jump down pit road here. Looks like probably going to be a scheduled stop here, so 40, 80, and then 30 to the finish. We'll see what his teammate Anthony DeBarro is going to do. DeBarro stays out. Let's see what Schlosser's doing, but look who's sneakily made his way up into the top three. There's the 11 and Nick Simpson. Simpson having himself a great run so far. That purple and gold machine, great looking car.
Absolutely.
Adam in the chat just says, liars. As Dumas snags the wall ever so slightly, he's got the Canadian Dale Earnhardt, Mike Floppy Tellier just behind him in fifth.
Simpson's car makes me really want to grab a drink. A little bit of Crown Royale.
I was thinking of Slurm from Futurama.
Oh, that works
too. It would need to be green instead of gold.
Yeah.
Jamar Dumas makes his way down onto pit road. First round of pit stops here. Chris Cabot is out and away. He's back in 12th. He's right now in a pocket of race cars. There's Canizaro Jr. up on top. Jason Schue just in front of him, but you can see the difference between old tires and new tires as the 25 just flies around him.
Yeah.
Crew getting to work on the left-hand side of Dumas's machine, so he's down in the way. So it looks like drivers will lose about 2 laps heading down pit road. Schlosser back by about 7 seconds to DeBarro. Had another 4 seconds-ish back to the 11 of Nick Simpson. And then another 5 seconds back to Mike Floppy Tellier. But one driver slowly picking his way back up through the field is Canizaro Jr. 6 seconds back from Tellier is Canizaro. Moved his way back up to 5th after getting tangled up there with the 99. As here comes the 77 making his way down on the pit road. Oh! Canizaro grabs the pit wall. We're going to have to see what happened there. As we jump on board with the 77, let's see what happened here. Just carried a lot of speed. And, oh. When your night goes from bad to worse.
Yeah, you know, we've said that in past races that unfortunately in iRacing, those water barrels are not water barrels.
Yeah, there is zero give on those things. And I'm sure Tyler Avery right now is just punching the air at this point. Just a bad night for CHR. One driver having himself a day is Anthony Tabarro. He's opened up a 7.2 second gap over Matt Schlosser. And then Nick Simpson starting to close the gap a little bit, down to 4.5 seconds behind Schlosser. That time by Simpson was a little bit slower than Schlosser. Let's see what it looks like this time through. So across the line goes Schlosser. Now here comes Simpson. And that time Schlosser about 0.2 faster than Simpson.
Tyler, may I interest you in a Crown Royal to relax?
So take a look here. So far, the top three have yet to pit. Mike Tellier pit and Jason Schue both pit on lap 9 after the second incident. Bettis has yet to pit. Scott has yet to pit. Chris Cabot, the only driver in the top 10 who has.
I'm actually really surprised that Scott didn't pit after taking some damage.
Yeah, I am too, especially now that they're in the pit window. I wonder if they're just trying to do a one-stop strategy. Get it to lap 60 and call it a day.
I guess the car feels good enough that he thinks he could stay out, so.
Here's Philip Scott. He's getting lapped now by DeBarro. Tyler says, I'll take 6, Barkeep. Canizaro says it's just one of those days, hard to race comfortably when you're just not quite right in the right mindset. Thinking of you, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely. It happens. If it makes you feel any better, I would have hit that going into the pits on like a fresh 2-lap, you know?
See, I just hit that coming out of pit road anyway.
Yeah. So, you know, there's that.
Right now we got ourselves a pretty decent battle starting to brew here for 5th between Jacob Bettis and Shane Ewing.
Yeah, Ewing is racing real hard in that number 6.
Bettis having himself a real good one.
I had to say it.
And as we say that, he does snag the wall a little bit, and that lets the 32 catch back up. Hey, we'll get the broadcaster curse out early, okay?
Yeah, well, I think you've hit it like twice so far. I just didn't say anything.
Six car there, snagging the wall just a little bit. Jamar Dumas down on pit road now. I'm interested to see where everyone else is going to think about pitting, especially now because right now, Chris Cabot, the only driver who came down pit road.
Yeah.
Aside from Dumas and Canizaro Jr.'s, the 6 into the wall hard again.
Yeah, I think his tires are done.
Yeah, they are most likely not very happy at the moment. Drives up, snags it again.
I gotta assume he's trying to hold on for like another 3 or 4 laps, but yeah, at what cost?
Yeah, and I think at this point too, if they're able to go 55 laps on a tank of fuel, they'll pit now, or at least soon-ish, and then finish out the rest of the way. And yes, we had the first 10 laps basically all under yellow.
Mm-hmm.
So now here comes the 32 to the inside. So now here comes Bettis trying to take a peek to the inside, side by side out of 4. Drag race here to the line. Philip Scott heads down pit road now. As, Ewing snags the wall this time. 6 leaving plenty of room. All this in front of the leader, Anthony DeBarro.
Mm.
Canzaro says bit of a double whammy as he was on the phone with his girlfriend before she started with boot camp. So a little bit of a double whammy there. Yeah. Definitely thinking about both you and her. So now DeBarro makes his way around the 6.
Yeah, cautiously.
Yeah, there have been incidents there between the 27 and the 6 in previous races. But all clean there. And now I would assume, since the 32 is the 27's teammate, he's just going to say, all right, bud, go for it. Make it nice and easy. As now Nick Simpson heads down pit road. He's going to relinquish 3rd.
Nope, there goes DeBarro.
Now DeBarro down on pit road, able to make it. So that'll relinquish the lead over to the 0-4 of Matt Schlosser. Schlosser going to get the bonus point for leading a lap.
Unless he was planning on pitting, but I assume with the circumstances he will ride out that lap.
Yeah, I would assume he's going to go down and
snag that point.
More. Yeah. As now here comes Schlosser after leading that one.
Yep.
Because all you have to do is just cross the line in first, and that counts as a lap led. You don't need the whole thing. Just cross the line.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, I should have enough gas for one more, right?
Right. As there go the 32 and the 6 making their way down pit road, or down the front stretch. That'll give the lead out to the 97 of Mike Floppy Tellier. And Tellier has been known to hit that pit wall a couple of times.
When's the last time he pit? He was like a mid-pit, right?
Yeah, he was one of the drivers who pit back on lap 9.
That's not mid.
Yeah, the second caution he pit. So now we see the 97 here. He comes trying to make his way down onto pit road. And he makes it without hitting the pit wall. So that'll give the lead up and over to the 32 of Shane Ewing as Jacob Bettis heads down pit road. So 65, figure if they even can make 55, plenty of time. Now, this may be the only pit stop in the race.
Yep. I mean, you never know. It only takes one yellow. Or one almost yellow.
The King, Jeremy Canute, in the chat. Saying, a little late to the party. Love Darlington. November can't come soon enough. Miss you out there on the track, man. Another one of the OGs of the TNR League. As now Shane Ewing makes his way down, he lets the 11 go. I would assume that might signal the 32 pitting soon.
He just tapped the wall again.
Ewing pulls over to let the 47 by. And right here, Chris Cabot, he's got fresher tires.
And he's doing
32 lets his teammate go, and he's going to stay out on track.
I wonder if he's trying to just... I think he's just trying to see how long it'll go.
Yeah, what are they putting in those dizzy gas tanks? Those guys are out for a while. Only 2 drivers have yet to pit. Okay, only 1 driver is yet to pit as Jason Schue makes his way down pit road. So now the question is, when will the 32 pit? Does not look like it's this time either.
Do you...
Okay, maybe it does.
I was going to say, do you think he's trying to hold on for a yellow?
I feel like at this point he might have just to see.
I figure he was second place. You know, I don't want to drop. I know I'm going to have to pit. I'm going to lose some spots. You know, someone can throw a yellow, so I'm not going to lose that much time.
But you know, Joe, looking at this, Chris Cabot has opened up a 10.8 second lead. And yes, Cabot is going to have to pit again. But look at the huge lead he's opened up over Anthony DeBarro. The lead between DeBarro and Schlosser has been cut in half. That's about 4 seconds.
Yeah. And dropping.
So Schlosser to DeBarro, and yeah, look at that. Every single lap, Schlosser faster.
The question is, can he hold on to that pace? Or you think DeBarro is just, you know, I know I'm going to take first as soon as he pits. And then I can push it.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. Another 4/10 faster that time through. I think DeBarro might be just trying to save his tires, knowing fully, okay, I did 61 laps. Yes, 8 of them were under yellow. But that's still only about 4 laps. It's about 2-1. 2 caution laps equal 1 green flag lap. So I think DeBarro might just be sitting there trying to save his tires as much as he can and see what he could do. This time again, Schlosser, another 4/10, catching up on the 27. Meanwhile, here, DeBarro 4/10 faster than Gabot. So Schlosser, one of the faster guys out on track at the moment. Schlosser did put the fastest lap so far at the 29:13. And Joe, that gap between DeBarro and Schlosser has shrunk dramatically. Only 2 seconds separating these two drivers.
Yeah.
Schlosser only picking up 2/10 that time through. As Chris Cabot makes his way down pit road. So that'll open things up. 27 now only a 1.3 second lead in closing. He's got Philip Scott right there between him. So if I'm the 27 right now, I'm saying, all right, Philip, you just stick behind me. Don't let the 04 pass, and we'll be cool. As Jamar Dumas 18 laps down. Not entirely sure what happened there.
Or he was just having some car problems, but just race it out.
Schlosser has gotten around Philip Scott. Now he's going to try to make that move up to the 27. Last time by, they were about even. Let's see what it is this time. That time, DeBarro was 0.3 faster.
Yeah, this is how I assumed it would go.
So here's where we're sitting on strategy. Chris Cabot came out of pit road in 6th. Cabot likely able to make it the rest of the way now on fuel. DeBarro pitted on 61, Schlosser 62, Simpson on 60, Tellier 64. Philip Scott on the oldest tires on lap 57. Simpson having himself a great run. Currently sitting P3. Our own little United Nations here in 3rd and 4th between Nick Simpson out of the UK, Mike Floppy Tellier out of Canada. And Jason Schue snags the wall. He's able to keep it going. Not a whole lot of damage, it doesn't look like there.
Nothing too bad. As DeBarro is just starting to pull away.
Yeah, that lead back up to 2.5 seconds. And everyone right now just kind of minding their own business. Philip Scott heads down pit road. Interesting strategy there for Scott. He pitted on lap 57. Less than 30 laps later, he's back down, looking to make his final pit stop.
Wonder if he's just doing tires, no fuel, or if you're doing both.
I feel like at this point in the race, if you're taking tires, you should just take fuel because it's essentially free, for lack of a better phrase.
Yeah. Isn't there weight to it, or not really?
There is, but actually having that fuel in the back is going to help loosen you up and make the car drive a little bit better. Because the car typically, as the run goes on, gets lighter, and less rear weight kind of makes the car not want to turn as well. Kind of shifts the balance of the car forward because the engine was already at the front.
Yeah, my brain was thinking about top speed, not turning.
That is fair.
You know, that's why I crash into things.
Well, it's like Jeremy Clarkson said, speed doesn't kill, suddenly becoming stationary does.
Correct. And I do that often.
We've seen the videos.
We have.
Terrifies me when you get the motion rig.
Yeah, me too.
You might actually
a hole
be
in
injured.
the wall or something. Yeah. I had a doctor from Whiplash from my motion rig.
Sorry, I was playing a video game. Sir, what? Did I stutter?
So I hit a wall at 130, and you're alive?
Don't worry, it was an iRacing. Wait, and how did you injure yourself?
Soon.
Let's say now we got to go to the junkyard, get some car body parts. You can really make it immersive. Get a Miata dashboard.
Right? No, I gotta do something silly. Like I don't know, the Nissan Cube.
Just fit the whole thing in your basement. It'll be fine. So 24 laps to go. Anthony DeBarro, 3.7 second lead over Matt Schlosser. There's the 25 of Chris Gabot. Gabot in 5th right now. Trying to put the pressure on the 04. Much fresher tires, so he'll be able to make it this position easily.
Yeah, the question is, do you think Gabo has enough to make it all the way around?
Yeah, so right now, I mean, Gabot, let's see what he does this lap versus DeBarro's lap time. So Gabot that time through did a 29.6 versus DeBarro's 30 flat. We'll call that a 29.7 because it's 0.68. It's a 29.7, so 0.3 of a second. It takes about 30 seconds. He's not going to have time to catch him. DeBarro should not need to pit, but we'll see. Should a yellow come out, DeBarro would have an extra set of tires in the pit, so I don't fully... I don't think we can count Gabot out, but if the way things stay, I don't see him climbing atop the podium tonight.
Yeah.
Because he'd need to pick up essentially 0.7 a lap in order to have a chance. Actually, more than that, because it's a 30-second lap and there's 20 laps to go. So 5-second gap.
The wall.
Luckily, he's looking okay.
There goes A's house. Looks like we're back at that point where tires are getting a little hot.
A lot of heat, not a lot of grip. And yeah, a lot of these drivers last pit back on the mid-60s, 62 for Ace House, as well as Schlosser, DeBarro 61. Freshest tires at the moment, aside from Philip Scott, who pitted on lap 80, is Chris Gabot. He last pit on lap 74. So we'll see how this one plays out.
Looks like Scott's pitting again?
Wonder if he's just kind of said, all right, I've had enough. You've got plenty of damage.
Looks like same for Dumas.
Yeah, both those drivers getting real close to that outside pit wall. So 15 laps to go for Anthony DeBarro. Can he hold on?
Now they both leave the pits. Looks like they were just getting gas and tires.
Very interesting.
Tullier's really hogging that wall.
Yeah, he is definitely snagging that wall every chance he can. Just trying to leave a little black and pink paint up there on the walls. Add to the lure of Darlington.
Yeah.
Talking about the Darlington stripe.
I think it was supposed to be pink.
Story of the stripe back in the old days when before they had the safer barrier for these cars, it was just Armco barrier like you see in the highway, and then cars, the fast ones, would use the wall on exit and kind of almost use it as a slingshot. So you'd see these two distinct grooves in the right rear quarter panel of the car, and they wound up just kind of calling it the Darlington stripe, which then changed to scuff marks from grabbing the outside wall, and here we are. But I think there's a little bit more than a Darlington stripe on that 97. So DeBarro getting ready to come to 10 to go, but look at that. Chris Cabot gets his lap back. But he's got 10 laps to try to pick up some time on his teammate. That time through, Cabot and DeBarro just roughly the same, 30.1 versus 30.2. So not going to be enough.
The question here is he able to catch up to Tullier or Simpson?
As Simpson grabs the outside wall. Let's take a look here. So you see the 11 coming through 3 and 4, exiting turn 4 on the track map. You also see the 97 of Mike Floppy Tellier exiting the corner now. And then there's Cabot. So Cabot has to get an entire straightaway to catch up to Simpson, and half a straightaway to catch up to Tellier, while also trying to hold off and fight with the 27, his teammate. So certainly going to be interesting to see how this one kind of plays out.
Looks like once Cabot got his lap back, he kind of hasn't been really able to make any progress. He's still sitting in that 29 and change. Tellier's going up a little bit, but Simpson's pretty strongly holding firm.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he just kind of used his stuff up a little too much just to get around his teammate. And the car is just like, nope, not going to work now. So coming to 5 to go.
Oop. There goes Cabot tapping the wall. So I guess that answered that question.
Yeah, I think these cars are a little bit of a handful to drive at this point in this race. As we pull out the drone cam here for this one, as Jason Schue pulls over to let the 27 go. By the way, if you like what you're seeing, feel free to subscribe to our channel both on Twitch and on YouTube. Hit the bell for alerts so you'll never miss a Tabletop Trio broadcast, whether it's the podcast that'll be starting up soon or these Monday night Total Nonstop Racing League races. Always fun to bring these races out.
Yeah, they're
Chris Cabot catches up to the 97. We'll slot Cabot up to 4th. Tellier just kind of grabbing the wall a few too many times. And now can Cabot catch Simpson with 3 to go?
Got about 4 seconds.
Yeah, so if we jump on board here with Cabot, you can barely see the purple and gold car just exiting the frame all the way up front. I don't think he's going to have enough time, but man, he has been on a roll. Cabot snags the wall. I think that might just about do it here for the 25's chances of getting a podium spot.
Yeah.
Anthony DeBarro out of turn number 4. He sees the white flag in the air. One more lap around here in this Rebel 150 presented by Jake Bustos. DeBarro down the Boeing backstretch. Through 3 and 4, one last time. Shower of sparks from his teammate. It's going to get tight here out of 4. Checkered flag in the air. Anthony DeBarro is going to win at Darlington.
What a great race. Some unfortunate accidents out there for the 2 and 3 positions that they were fighting for, but all in all, fantastic finish all around.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal racing here. As out of turn number 4, welcome to the podium. Nick Simpson is going to finish 3rd. Great run for him. Chris Cabot comes home in 4th. Mike Tellier 5th. Is now the 27 going to get himself ready to go to celebrate here tonight. Let's see if DeBarro is going to burn it down.
Yeah, his tires should be slippery enough.
Right? So big burnout there for DeBarro. As we'll get these drivers ready to go into the interview waiting room. And Joe, I believe you've caught up with our 3rd place finisher, Nick Simpson.
Hey, Nick, congratulations on bringing home 3rd tonight. How you feeling about it? Oh, might be having some technical difficulties with Nick.
All right, we'll get Nick back into the room there, and I'll catch up with our second place finisher, driver of the 04 machine, Matt Schlosser. And well, Matt, congrats there on the P2 finish. Looked like for a little bit you're starting to track down DeBarro, but just kind of, was it tire wear that was a little too much, or what happened there?
Yeah, I was catching him pretty quickly, and I think he just had a little bit more in the bank for pace. I was actually talking to him for a quick second just now in the waiting room, and he said he had to step his pace up a little bit to maintain the lead. But I think he's very good at managing his tires, and I did okay with my tires. Like, I never burned them up. I just don't think I had the overall average pace throughout the run. But it was fun for a minute to feel like I was catching him. I thought maybe he was saving fuel or had damage or something, but he was just saving a little bit, and then he kicked it into high gear and checked out. But yeah, it was obviously a good result. It was a little quiet, not a whole lot of battling after about the first quarter of the race or so, but yeah, good result.
Yeah, and we're talking a little bit about it too, and we kind of thought, all right, maybe the 04 is going a little bit harder than the 27 might have been saving tires or something like that, but it just kind of looks like it was one of those races where 27 just kind of got on his horse and just kind of checked out a little bit.
Yeah, he had absolute control. I feel like if I could have been closer to him when we made our pit stop, maybe things could have been a little different, but he had a huge lead because I got back to battling with the double with Philip and with John, and they obviously had some contact, and I had to slow down to not get in that crash, and then I was like 10 or 12 seconds back from Anthony, so he had a lot of gap to manage, and he's also very fast, so he probably would have been fine even without that gap. But it's good to get a good result. I was hoping maybe we'd get a late caution and have a little shootout or something. That'd have been fun for me, maybe not for him, but well, he probably would have won that too. So I was just hoping maybe something interesting would happen. But it was fun though. It was a little bit of a quiet race, but still a good time. Darlington's a fun track, and nice to get a second place.
For sure. And, kind of shifting gears now, next week going to Bristol. What are your thoughts there? High bank, short track, could get a little chaotic there.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm not sure what to expect. I have not driven this car at Bristol. I don't know if there's going to be if tires are going to matter. I don't know if it's going to be multi-groove, or if it's just going to be top dominant. I'm not even sure if they just redid Bristol with the update that comes out tomorrow. Like, for all I know, they just rescanned that. They're rescanning tracks left and right. I'm not sure, but it'll be fun to check it out. I like short track racing. Bristol's a lot of fun. So hopefully hopefully I can do all right there and make it a little bit closer than tonight if I'm able to be near the front.
For sure. Well, Matt, before we let you go, I'm sure you have some shout outs, so let's hear them.
Yeah. Thanks. Thank you to you guys for hosting the league. Everyone who does the admin work and manages the league. I appreciate it, and pleasure to race here. Been having a lot of fun here. Shout out to, congrats to Anthony again for his win. Shout out to really everybody that I was racing around tonight. It was a lot of good, clean racing. A lot of fun out there. Yeah, I mean, that's about all I got.
Awesome. Well, Matt, congrats again on the P2 finish, and hopefully we'll get to chat to you after Bristol next week.
Yeah, I hope so. Thank you, guys.
All right, that's Matt Schlosser, our second place finisher, and let's see if we can dial up our third place finisher, driver of the 11, Nick Simpson.
Hey, Nick, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
There you are. Congratulations on the podium finish. How you feeling?
Exhausted. That was a tough race, I think Darlington's one of the most underrated tracks. It's so difficult. You got to be so locked in and so concentrated.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of that, you know, what was more nerve wracking at the end there? Was it, trying to hold on to third, or was it kind of like trying to chase down second there?
Well, I knew those two guys in front of me were way ahead of me. I could see Chris was starting to catch me from behind. He was probably catching me half a second a lap. So I was trying to maintain consistency, maintain my lap time, and make sure that I was, just staying in front.
And were this race, were you kind of trying to save on fuel or tires, or were you just trying to, push it the whole race?
Well, when I jumped into the lobby and I seen the track temperature was in the 70s, I was like, okay, this is probably a one stopper. I did about 15 laps before in the practice, and my tire, wear was pretty good. So I was really aiming on not having much tire wear, making sure I wasn't sort of heavy on the exits and entries, and then really making sure that I could do a one stopper.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, we saw you. You were trying. It was fantastic out there. We really thought you had a chance. You kind of just silently moved up. There were some unfortunate accidents that happened. Was that not yellow call kind of a blessing for you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I seen those two guys spin out in front of me, and I was like, okay, what's happened there? I could see they were starting to get into it a little bit. But yeah, it was a blessing. The fact the yellow never came out, it definitely gave me an advantage. I wasn't expecting to get a podium, but sometimes that's the way it goes.
Absolutely, and I'm sure you got some shout outs for us.
Thanks to all you guys for putting on the league. It's my first league that I've run in. I've been on iRacing for just over 12 months, and it's great to get into a bit of a competitive league. And I know there's some guys been watching me on that YouTube stream, so big shout out to them as well.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations again, and hopefully we'll be chatting with you next week.
Thank you, guys.
All right. That is Nick Simpson, our third place finisher. And Joe, I believe you've also caught up with our winner, driver, the number 27, Anthony DeBarro.
You're really getting my steps in. Anthony, congratulations on the victory. Was this kind of the race you expected, or did you kind of think it was going to be a little different?
I don't know. I knew it was going to be managing your right front, which I thought I did a pretty good job of that. It was tough because like in the beginning there I was getting pushed, and I didn't want to go up the track position, so I ran a little harder than I wanted to. But I think I did a little better job than, unfortunately, those guys had a little incident, so that really like kind of just gifted, track position and distance. I could just kind of focus on hitting my marks and keeping out of the wall, and managing the tires. And that last run, I really came off pit road, and I just said I was going to baby it. I knew Matt was going to be really pushing,
Mhm.
and I just kind of let him get close enough, and then I picked up my pace a smidge, and I had the tires under me, and it was easy from there on out.
Yeah, that's exactly what we were talking about while we were watching live. Was our speculating of if you were just holding and babying those tires, and trying to just release later when you needed to. So I'm glad we figured out your strategy. um,
I got really fortunate with those, and unfortunately those guys had that incident, but it just kind of made me, on my own island, and I was able to just control the race in there and pit. I tried to pit as late. I ran it just about out of fuel on that first stop because I said, there's no reason for me to short pit with this kind of lead I was gifted. So I from there just, like I said, it was all managing tires, and hopefully we didn't get that caution.
yeah, absolutely. And I'm a blessing for you that there was no caution, because it just gave you a nice head start for the rest of the race. um, with that, you got a lot of momentum. I think you won last week as well. Uh, so a lot of points, a lot of momentum going through. hoping to keep that up.
Yeah, just I'm really fortunate to streak together these wins like we are. You never know when that's going to end, or someone's else going to get a hot streak. So just try to keep it rolling. Be respectful and just race clean and make us like we have a really good points lead now. I just want to be really consistent. Top fives and go from there and just see where we end up because I don't think we have a playoff this year. I think it's just full season points. So I'm just trying to pad my gap here and just be consistent with everything.
Absolutely, and I'm sure you got some shout outs.
Yeah, thank you guys. I mean, I hope it wasn't too much of a snoozer, just having me out front all race. And I'm sure you're getting tired of talking to me, so maybe next week I'll take a break from the podium so you don't have to talk to me. But thanks to Garrett and all the admins for doing all this, and my teammates, Chris and Shane were out there tonight. Unfortunately, Shane kind of knocked the wall down. He was wounded the most of the race, and Chris was alternate strategy. Did a good job charging up to there, but we had a good race as a team overall.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations again, and hopefully we'll be chatting with you next week.
Thank you guys. Have a good night.
Sounds good.
All right, that's Anthony DeBarro, our winner here tonight in Darlington. And man, Joe, what a great race. A lot of fun, some drama early on, but a great run by everyone else from lap 10 all the way through the rest of the race. So definitely a lot of fun there. We'll take a look here at the results for tonight's Rebel 150 presented by Jake Bustos. There we go. Anthony DeBarro gets the win over Matt Schlosser and Nick Simpson. Chris Gabot comes home in 4th. Mike Floppy Tellier, first car, 1 lap down in 5th with Jacob Bettis in 6th. Shane Ewing comes home 7th, 2 laps down. Jason Schue in 8th, 2 laps down. Ace House, 2 laps down as well in 9th. Philip Scott comes home in 10th. Jamar Dumas in 11th. John Cannizzaro Jr. in 12th. Garrett Gleason comes home 13th. Cannizzaro Sr. in 14th. Robert Tripp in 15th. And Adam Stewart rounding out our 16-car field for this evening. And Joe, don't forget Bristol next week. It's going to be fun. It's going to be chaos. And I'm already looking forward to it.
Absolutely, always with Bristol.
So as a special thank you so much for watching tonight's race. Don't forget, next Monday night, 8:20 Eastern, give or take, right here on the Tabletop Trio Podcast Network. So for one final time, I'm Bob.
I'm Joe.
And this has been the Rebel 150 here at Darlington. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.